Here's what's happening. Johnson & Johnson pauses the use of its vaccine because of 6 cases of blood clots among the more than 6 million shots administered. The feds, New York, New Jersey, and the big pharmacy chains all say they will not be giving out the 1-dose shot for now. Roger Stern ahead. Subway crime is down, say the cops. Glenn Schucks in Times Square about how New Yorkers really feel about riding the rails. A pedestrian is killed in Brooklyn when a bus hits a pole. Preventing anti-Asian crime is the focus on Capitol Hill today. In sports, the Mets host the Phillies in a doubleheader. The Yankees play the Blue Jays in Florida. 10-10 winds AccuWeather, much nicer today. It turns out partly mostly sunny with a high of 62 degrees. Wednesday time 10:41. Let's check traffic and transit. Here's Karen Stewart. We're going to start with a look at the New Jersey Turnpike right now, Bridget. We've got a problem on the southbound side of the Turnpike on the Hudson County extension. Make it eastbound, actually. Inside 14, that's the exit for 78. We've got the center lane of 5 toll lanes blocked. There's a crash there, minor one from what it looks like here on the jam cam. Just expect delays. We've got road work in force in New Jersey now. Both directions of 78 at 56 in Newark. Both directions of 280 at exit 1 in Parsippany. And then we've got northbound 287 at exit 55 in Wanacue, out to 57 in Oakland. The 2 right lanes are closed there. It's road work. That Rockland County accident on the Palisades South at exit 16 for Stony Point is still there. This accident has injuries. That's why it's taking so long. Left lane is blocked in that case. And we've got a Southern State crash still eastbound on your way to exit 22 for the Meadowbrook accident there in the left lane. So your DuckDuckGo route that you can trust is going to be the Northern State. It is very quiet and very at the speed limit. LIWR looks great. Alternate side parking rules and regulations are in effect today. The inbound GW bridge is still 20 while the outbound is still 45 minutes. I'm Karen Stewart on 1010 Winds. Johnson & Johnson has just held a news conference about the breaking news this morning that it is pausing the use of its shots because of concerns they might cause blood clots. Officials at the news conference were asked how long a pause. They say it's just a matter of days. Here's Dr. Janet Woodcock, acting CDC director on the 6 cases of clots.
Right now, I'd like to stress these events appear to be extremely rare. However, COVID-19 vaccine safety is a top priority for the federal government, and we take all reports of adverse events following vaccination very seriously.
So what might be causing these blood clots? One official says an immune response which occurs only very rarely. They emphasize there are no similar issues with the Pfizer or Moderna shots. A lot of reactions to tell you about. The White House says this will not have a significant impact on our vaccination plan. The Johnson & Johnson shot makes up less than 5% of U.S. vaccines, and the U.S. has secured enough Pfizer and Moderna doses for 300 million Americans. Locally, State Health Commissioner Dr. Howard Zucker says out of an abundance of caution, New York is, yes, immediately pausing the use of the vaccine statewide. All appointments for the J&J vaccines today at New York State's mass vaccination sites will be honored with the Pfizer vaccine. New Jersey also pausing the J&J shots and working on rescheduling appointments. CVS and Walgreens also pausing. Johnson & Johnson also delaying the rollout of the vaccine in Europe. 1010 Winds reporter Roger Stern now on the concern the J&J shot could lead to blood clots, as we say. Half a dozen cases among the more than 6.8 million doses administered.
6 women developed the clots within 2 weeks of getting the vaccine. 1 person died, another is critical. Dr. Ray Panettiere teaches medicine at the Rutgers Robert Woods Johnson Medical Center. He was involved in the vaccine's trials.
The fact that it happens in multiple people is concerning, but if we look at the total risk, it is vanishingly small.
He notes that there's a similar problem with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which European regulators put on hold, and he says there may be a link. Both the J&J vaccine and AstraZeneca's use a viral delivery system, which is different than the Pfizer and Moderna shots. Roger Stern, 1010 Winds News.
Well, despite the J&J setback as we race to get everybody vaccinated, 2 corona mutations have spread across the 5 boroughs. The city health department says the variants identified in the city and in the UK have taken over the bulk of corona cases, now accounting for 3 out of 4. The health department report says the mutations explain the recent plateau of cases in the city. Nationwide, the 7-day average of COVID cases is up more than 10% in at least 13 states. Hospital admissions are up in 22 states. The average daily death toll is up more than 10% in 14 states. Michigan, as you've probably heard, is a real hotspot, and now Colorado is in the middle of a 4th wave. The governor there expected to make a decision by the end of the week on possibly tightening restrictions. Not COVID, but crimes, the big concern for subway riders these days, according to an MTA survey. Our Glenn Schuck now from the Times Square station.
As businesses and office buildings slowly reopen, the real question is, will riders return to the subways? The MTA continues to push for more cops on trains. They use this survey as an example. Of 33,000 riders questioned, 87% are saying crime and harassment a major issue, and they're more afraid of crime than COVID. New York City Transit President Sarah Feinberg says that message seems obvious.
It could not have been more clear. They said we want the system to be safe from crime and harassment and safe from COVID. They now know it's safe from COVID. We need to make sure it's safe from crime and harassment.
Carl says he's not necessarily afraid, but riding trains is a nightmare in the morning, in his words, and he's always looking over his shoulder.
The service isn't worth it, that's for sure. It's disgusting.
But the MTA saying with increased police presence this summer, riders hopefully will return. We'll see. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, the Times Square station.
In Brooklyn, a pedestrian has been killed as an MTA bus swerved around a broken-down vehicle and hit a light pole on Utica Avenue in Crown Heights. That toppled over the pole and it killed 59-year-old Lance Margolin. He died at Kings County Hospital Saturday, 2 days after he was struck. The bus driver has not been charged. The accident is still being investigated. Here in the city, we have the Vision Zero initiative to try to prevent traffic accidents. Now, a plan developed in Sweden uses artificial intelligence to try to end deadly crashes.
In Houston, cameras are not being used to catch red light runners, but to gather data. More than just statistics and probabilities, it is life and death. Houston's chief transportation planner, David Field, says focusing on every mile of pavement in the city is pointless because
60% of crashes happen on only 6% of our streets.
Instead, the AI cameras are looking at places where crashes and near misses have happened in order to predict future trouble spots and just maybe to prevent injuries and deaths.
Jim Ryan with that report. In an effort to curb anti-Asian crime, lawmakers, including Senate Majority Leader New York's Chuck Schumer and Congresswoman Grace Meng, are holding a news conference on Capitol Hill to push for legislation to address the rise of those hate crimes. Overseas now, where Germany is getting more American troops.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, after meeting with his German counterpart in Berlin.
Now, these forces will strengthen deterrence and defense in Europe, and they will augment our existing abilities to prevent conflict and, if necessary, to fight and win.
Austin revealing he intends to permanently station approximately 500 additional U.S. personnel in Western Germany as early as this fall. Adding the move underscores the U.S.'s commitment to Germany and the entire NATO alliance.
Inez de la Catera with that report. And coming up next, we will take a look at the roads and the AccuWeather forecast. Winds News Time 1049.
Let's take back our city, one vaccination at a time. Safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines are here. Get yours when it's your turn. Learn more at nyc.gov/COVID vaccines. All those in favor of a COVID-19 vaccine, raise your arms. Safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines are here. Get yours when it's available to you. Learn more at nyc.gov/COVID vaccines.
Radio.com is now Odyssey.
What is Odyssey? Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you.
All the music,
All the sports
all the news,
and all the podcasts
it's all live and on demand.
inside the Odyssey app.